Just when you thought it was over, Tucker McCombs and the Endeavor out of Ventura Sport Fishing have a huge hit on the white sea bass on their most recent trip. 42 white sea bass, most of those fish on the dropper loop. Live squid, fresh dead squid has been very, very effective up there. It had been a while since we've seen a score like this, several weeks. Some surmised that the water had gotten too warm, and others thought that the sea bass had perhaps moved in to cooler water. But this is a great signal and sign, and high hopes that there's more of this to come. 42 white sea bass on the Endeavor out of Ventura Sport Fishing. Another great hit for Tucker. He's been hot all year long. Doesn't surprise us.
On September 24th through the 26th, we'll be on board the Apollo, and you are invited for this very special 2-day trip. It is limited to only 21 anglers, includes all meals, and should be fantastic. This is when we have our best weather months in the fall, and the Apollo, they've been on their game this year. Outstanding fishing and really nice weather. Then we're going to switch over to the Amigo out of 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro, California for another 2-day adventure. October 6th through the 8th should be another great trip. Tanner, Cortez Bank, and anywhere else the fish are. Don't forget, text me at 657-227-6459 to get on board the Apollo and or the Amigo. Best weather months of the year, and hopefully lots of fish for you to catch. This Saturday, August 31st, is a no fishing license required day, so it's a perfect time to bring a novice angler out to Surfside, California, and meet up with the Friedman Adventures family for a great surf fishing morning. You're going to park down there near Anderson and Pacific Coast Highway. Walk out on the beach, hang a right, and walk down about 10 minutes, and you will see us down there right in front of the Surfside Playground. It's going to be a fun day. If you just want to come down and have a cup of coffee, do it. If you want to come down and catch some fish, do it. If you just want to come down and meet the Friedman Adventures family, we'll be there for you. This Saturday, August 31st, 7:30 a.m. until 10, unless the little fishies are biting, then we'll hang out a lot longer. See you Saturday, August 31st, 7:30 a.m. in Surfside, California.
Hey, good morning, my dear friends, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California. This gorgeous Friday morning. Yeah, it's a little overcast, but there's absolutely no wind. And take a look at that gorgeous ocean back there. It is spectacular. And so is the fishing. Whether you go south of the border or all the way up to San Francisco, it seems like the light switch is on. Ensenada with some great mixed bag fishing, and there's still bluefin tuna offshore. Sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't. We'll delve into that. Long range fishing out of San Diego has been the best it's been for 20 years. Did that hold up again? We'll check on Tanner and Cortez Bank, where it has been absolutely spectacular. Wide open fishing out there. There's been some white sea bass explosions, as you already know, by the lead-in, albacore out of San Francisco, and so much more. You know what time it is. It's time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. So nice to be here with you all. Deeply, deeply appreciate it. My grandson Bowden made his appearance on this rock we call Earth yesterday. What a wonderful experience. What a wonderful time it was yesterday, being with my son Philip and his wife Jessica and other family members celebrating the birth of my grandson Bowden. It was spectacular. Really feeling blessed and full of joy this morning. So really, really appreciate all the kindness and good wishes you all sent my way on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Really appreciate all of that, my friends. All right, we've got a lot to cover with you. Hit that like button. Share these videos with a friend. Make sure you subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel and tick that little bell. You'll be notified when there's new content. And don't forget, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Apple Podcast, and Spotify. Friedman Adventures is there for you every single day. And I'm also taking you along on my carnivore diet journey. You can see those videos on YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok, and everywhere else. Show you what I'm eating on a daily basis. And we're going to get more in depth into that here in the coming weeks. So we'll be talking about the health benefits and everything else. I'm not trying to talk you into the carnivore diet. I'm your guinea pig. I'm trying this out, and you can see how that works. Dan Lightfoot, Michael Limon's grandpa, I talked to him. Well, I didn't talk him into it, but he said, "What are you doing?" And several months ago, he went on it, lost 45 pounds. All of his medical tests came back so positive that instead of seeing the doctor every 3 months, he's now seeing the doctor once a year. Nice going, Dan. All right, let's jump into it with you. Let's get to the sport fishing because it is absolutely spectacular. Cherise Poreta, I want to send my very best to you and family members for being such a loyal Friedman Adventures family member. Thank you so much for your lovely note yesterday. Diego Puentes down there in Ensenada showing off a spectacular local catch. I mean, it was great. Barracuda, calico bass, rockfish, copious amounts of all of those. You know, when that offshore bite in Ensenada sputters a little bit, the bluefin tuna, and also there's been the occasional yellowfin tuna, some yellowtail on the kelp patties, but it's been mostly bluefin tuna offshore. When that sputters, you still have the inshore stuff to fall back on. The barracuda, the rockfish, the yellowtail, the calico bass, the sand bass, and it's been a really great year for all of the aforementioned species in Ensenada. Love what's going on down there. Offshore, more hit and miss here recently, but there's still the opportunity at a good shot of bluefin tuna, most of it in the 10 to 40 pound class, sometimes bigger than that. The trolled madback lures have been very effective. Also, those smaller dart jigs like a Daiwa Sakana, 120 grams, toss that onto a foamer. You got a very good chance. Popper fish at times. Also, you've seen fish being taken on surface iron like a Tatty 45. There's been a myriad of different ways that guys have been catching the bluefin tuna down that way. And hopefully that's going to get back on the bite. But it just seemed like the light switch kind of came up on us yesterday, or no, went down on us. Yes, the light switch went down on us. I'll get that figured out here in a moment for you all. Overall, however, you've got that inshore stuff to fall back on. And, you know, to be perfectly candid with you, I love fishing that inshore stuff. I mean, it would be a coin flip for me, and I'd probably opt to fish the inshore stuff. Constant action, lots of fun. It's just really fun fishing down there right now. All right, long range situation has been spectacular. Best fishing in 20 years, some guys say, for the long range boys that are running these 7-day trips, 8-day trips out of San Diego. You take off on your preferred long range boat and you have an absolute ball on these trips. First of all, you've got full speed, wide open yellowfin tuna. It has been spectacular. Beautiful grade of fish. 50 to 80 pounders. Go back in the corner, underhanded bait on 80 pound, and you are bit. They are so voracious, so wide open right now. That bite has been spectacular. Then you can focus on wahoo, and at times that bite has been slow. Other times it's been really, really good on the skins, on the wahoo, those really enigmatic fish that are so fast and so speedy and present such great table fare in addition to all that. Then there's the yellowtail action. It has been spectacular. Sometimes you're dropper loop fishing at night around Alejos rocks. Other times you're fly lining a bait and catching 15 to 25 pound yellowtail, some bigger than that. That bite has been really, really good. And then on the way home, you go into the Baja coast, and the bite for white sea bass at times has been spectacular, as it was on the Vagabond here recently. Great white sea bass fishing as wide open as you could possibly want it. And that's another thing that I don't think I've seen for a long, long time. Long range boats on a consistent basis going into the Baja coast and catching sea bass. It's been spectacular. They're also loading up on rockfish and big calico bass, sheephead. What a year it has been for the long range fleet out of San Diego. In April, we've got a great trip on board the Independence that you're not going to want to miss. It's going to be a great one, and I can't wait for that one. Go to Independence Sportfishing.com and find the Friedman Adventures 5-day extravaganza. The 5-day adventure. I will be there shooting your video, and I can't wait to do it. I love the Independence. She is such a beautiful rig. Brian does such a great job, and the crew on deck, fantastic. Don't forget, that should be a really great trip. And one more thing that I want to mention, we'll be standing here on this beach on Saturday morning, no fishing license required day in California, and we're going to be surf fishing right here. And if we get these kind of conditions, and that's what the forecast is, it should be great fishing. That's Saturday morning, 7:30 a.m. right here. Make sure you join us on the lead-in. You saw how you can join us, and you know, if you want to come down here with a lawn chair and a donut and a cup of coffee and just watch everybody else fish, that's great. That would be fantastic. If you want to get out there and catch some fish, that would be good. 10% off down there at Big Fish Bait and Tackle in the beautiful city of Seal Beach, California, right there on the corner of Seal Beach Boulevard and Pacific Coast Highway. I'm standing about a mile south of there right now. That's where you're going to meet us. 7:30 a.m. until about 10, unless the fish are still biting, and then we'll hang in here. So we'll see you Saturday morning. Great way to celebrate the end of summer. It's the end of summer. I can't believe it. Not quite chronologically, but, you know, kids are back in school, and we're definitely headed in that direction right now. All right, let's take you out to Tanner and Cortez Bank right now. For most landings in Southern California, that is a 90 to 100 mile run to get out there to Cortez and Tanner Bank. And it has been spectacular, and the fishing just can't get any better than it is right now. Wide open bluefin tuna. You have that 10 to 40 pound bluefin tuna, but now you have that fish mixing back in up to over 200 pounds. A lot of that fish being taken at night, fishing the jigs, and it has been absolutely spectacular. As my dear friend Valentino goes by. You want to see Valentino? There he is, right there. Good morning, Valentino. All right, there he goes. Good to see him as the dog attacks Valentino here on the beach, and we were all witness to it. Really great fishing, and some of that big fish, 300 to 50 to 500 gram lures, is a great way to make things happen. Fantastic at night. Some of these bites have been epic. The Navigante out of Redondo got in to one of those bites here recently. They ran a reverse day and a half trip. That means you leave in the morning hours so that you can optimize your nighttime fishing. And they got on a school at sundown that wanted to bite. They ended up with 32 bluefin tuna, 15 of those fish on the Navigante over the 100-pound mark. A lot of that fish in the 170, 180 pound class. Spectacular fishing for the Pacific Dawn has been one of those boats that got in on it. The Pegasus on a 2.5 day trip. Same kind of a situation with limits of fish. Absolutely phenomenal fishing. And then on the bank itself, you know, that 10 to 40, sometimes 60 pound bluefin tuna, just beautiful fish, full speed, wide open. Rick Russell took over the helm of the Legend, and he ran out there and he said, Phil, 2 days of wide open limit style fishing on the bluefin tuna. We left them biting, said Russell. It was phenomenal fishing. Several boats getting in on that kind of fishing. The Royal Polaris unloading this morning. Spectacular catch on a 3-day trip with yellowtail and bluefin tuna. The yellows are mixed in with that stuff out in that neck of the woods. Also, we saw tremendous fishing on board the Horizon as they limited out on the bluefin tuna. New low end with fish to 200 pounds. Limits of bluefin tuna. The Apollo, the Tribute. I could go on and on and on. It is game on for boats from San Diego all the way to the Channel Islands who want to go out there and fish Cortez, Tanner Bank, and surrounding areas. And there's daytime kite fishing that's spectacular for private boaters. And if you're on one of the rigs that does that kind of thing, you can cash in on some really great fishing. Awesome, awesome, awesome fishing right now. And remember, it is a little breezy, but as we move deeper into the fall, that's when we have our best weather months here in SoCal and northern Baja. That's when you have less wind, calm seas, and more variety normally. Normally, you're going to get an influx of some other species. We'll see how that all plays out, but for right now, spectacular fishing, no question about it. Unfiled taxes, call Tim Marquez right now. Tim is standing by waiting for you, and he'll take care of all your tax headaches. He's been doing it for 35 years. And if you have heating and or air conditioning needs, do what Sam De La Torre from Island Fishing Tackle just did. He called John Lopez at a fishing, heating, and air conditioning. He'll take care of it for you. No question about that. All right, let's go to the islands now. We've got to start at the Coronado Islands, where we have seen nothing short of spectacular fishing. But that kind of slowed down yesterday. I don't know if this is a sign of things to come or it's a momentary blip on the radar, and we'll be back to some good fishing right now. I don't like that trend where the bite's going down and you're moving into a busy boat traffic-y weekend, but we'll see how that all plays out. It's been spectacular, and guys have been seeing a lot of fish, foamers of bluefin tuna down there near the south end of South Coronado Island. You've seen yellows mixed up with it. It really has been spectacular. But as I say, it slowed down. San Diego with 11 yellowtail. The Grande was offshore for a Dorado. Once again, all the boats we looked at had slower scores on the yellowtail. Now it's Friday, so for all practical purposes, it's the weekend right now. So once again, slower bite. I wouldn't let that dissuade me. That could come roaring back here today and this weekend. Remember, have some 25-pound fluorocarbon and then have some 30 and 40, even 50-pound fluorocarbon on the. Gonna fish the heaviest line possible. You want to get a bite on the heaviest line possible. Choose a good hot bait. That's been the best way to make things happen. All right, at San Clemente Island, man, I'll tell you, sometimes the bite there has been absolutely spectacular. Ryan McAndless with a great report and some great fishing on the Fury. I'm telling you, Ryan said he had such a great time. He had a white sea bass. He had yellowtail. There was halibut on board. Dropper loop fishing with live squid was the way to get it done. He fished 40 pound and had really excellent fishing on the mix of fish over there. The halibut and the white sea bass. Calico bass were biting also. He said that early morning kind of just when the sun comes up kind of bite is awesome. And they got squid from a squid boat. And Ryan said, we knew it was going to be good because the guys on the squid boat were catching white sea bass. That's how incredible it was out there on board the Fury out of Dana Wharf Sport Fishing. 25 to 30-pound fluorocarbon during the daytime. A fly line sardine seemed to work best of all. They had a variety of species, including sheephead, some rockfish, and everything else on the exotics. 3 halibut, 9 yellowtail, 6 white sea bass. Nice going, Ryan. Great report. He really filled us in on all the great stuff going on at San Clemente Island. So some guys are not running out to the bank. They're fishing Clemente, like the Fury and some other boats out of Dana Wharf Sport Fishing. The new San Mateo's out there a lot. And it has been absolutely fantastic fishing at Catalina Island. Still lots of bonito and some calico bass. And then you get a mix of the whitefish or rockfish. The El Patron yesterday had nice fishing on the bonito and a little bit of calico bass to go with it. Pursuit's been over there on a regular basis, same kind of a situation. Most of the boats who've been fishing out in that neck of the woods, Catalina Island, have been doing really well. Good action if you like catching bonito and a few calico bass. Still seeing some yellowtail, but the catching has not been all that great here recently. We'll keep our eyes on that. El Patron runs out of Long Beach Sport Fishing. Weekday prices are reduced for you, so it's a great time to go because A, you're probably going to find less people on the boat. B, you get a break in the price. And C, there's less boat pressure at Catalina. If you can steal away during the weekdays, by all means, do it. And you can book a trip on the El Patron right now by going to www.longbeachsportfishing.org. All right, really good stuff going on. Channel Islands, Tucker McCombs, he did it again. 42 white sea bass on his most recent trip. You know, we've been saying it's been a long time since anybody came up with a big hit on the white sea bass. And leave it at Tucker, who has been exceptionally hot all week, all year long, I should say. He's been on it, and a fabulous hit for him. It was so good. Doug Tilk was watching Friedman Adventures yesterday, and he goes, I think he has an open party trip Monday night out of Ventura Sport Fishing. Doug called and booked right away. Called Saul at Ventura Sport Fishing and booked a trip. And I don't blame you. Doug, wishing you a great trip and the best of luck. The karma is just going to come back to you again. You were on that great halibut trip, and now you're going to get some sea bass. I can see it. The karma, all the good you do out there will come back huge for you. Monday night, I'm going to be watching that very, very closely and see how prophetic my words truly are. Once again, good rock fishing up there in the Channel Islands where the majority of the boats not wide open for the rest of the guys. The Aloha Spirit did have, however, 5 halibut and a yellowtail. And on board the Island Spirit, our good friend Daniel Hadaway and his great crew, they'll be out today and this weekend. They've had steady rock fishing. They try to do the combo trips there, so they give the surface action a shot, barracuda, calico bass, even some sand bass on the coast at times. And then the fallback is the rockfish. Depending upon where you are fishing, you might need up to 16 ounces. Many times 12 ounces will work for you, but 16 is always safe in case you have wind and current. That will really help you out a lot. And the whitefish and the sheephead and all that razzmatazz has been biting really, really well. Island Spirit, 805-676-3474, or go to VenturaSportFishing.com. Verges in Morro Bay, we're seeing really great rock fishing up there. Same thing out of Avila Beach. Are they going to catch some albacore in Morro Bay? Getting close to them in Santa Cruz. Still catching albie there. And San Francisco, the California Dawn said, let's go see if we can catch an albacore. First trip of the year, 44 albacore up there out of San Francisco. So some pretty exciting stuff going on. No doubt about that. Let's go down and talk about our local bite in San Diego. We continue to see a really great year this year. It's a little more sporadic, I would say. And here we have the weekend again. You know, I'm big on this boat pressure thing. You get too much pressure, it will shut it down. But decent fishing going on. The Dolphin had outstanding bonito fishing. They haven't had that really. And now adding bonito to the catches. Sand and calico bass are still biting pretty well down there with an occasional white sea bass and or yellowtail, even a big halibut from time to time. The Premier down there fishing locally had a good hit on the sand bass. So that's still going on. So pretty darn good local fishing there. Releasing a lot of calico bass, but constant action for the boats out of Oceanside and Dana Wharf sport fishing. It's been good with some shallow water rockfish mixed in with that here in the Long Beach and San Pedro area as I marvel at that flat, calm sea and no wind here this morning. They've been catching some sand and calico bass. At times it's okay. No consistency to it. A lot of sculpin and rockfish. Same thing up there in Redondo. Some good twilight bass fishing on the new Del Mar. They'll be out tonight doing their thing on that. And even some local fish, but not wide open. Falling back on sculpin and rockfish for the most part. And a lot of rockfish up there in the Channel Islands, as we indicated to you all. Saturday, right here. Don't miss us. I'm getting to the surf fishing report here in a second. Right here, August the 31st, 7:30 a.m. we start. There'll be guys down here starting at daybreak. I get back out here around 7:30, however. I'll come down and shoot the morning briefing super early and then go up, edit, and do my thing, and then be down here to see you all. Then I'll go to the hospital. Wait a minute, no. Philip will be back home. So I'll go to Philip's house, visit my new grandson, and then, grandson, if you want to watch with me, you can do it, but I'll be yelling and screaming and scaring you. Texas A&M, Notre Dame. I'm a big Irish fan, so can't wait for that big game on Saturday afternoon, evening. Should be a great one. Irish are 3-point dogs. I'll take them straight up to win that game in College Station. That's going to be a tough game. All right, I digress. Sorry about that. I'm a college football fan. What can I tell you? All right, let's talk surf fishing. And it's been quite good here recently. I'm expecting a really great day on Saturday morning. First of all, Big Fish Bait and Tackle, 10% off on everything in the store this Saturday when you mention Friedman Adventures. So on your way here, make sure you stop there on the corner of PCH and Seal Beach Boulevard and pick up some worms. You know, blood worms are best. Just talk to the people in there. I'm going to have a sand crab catcher here. And incidentally, if I come down here without the sand crab catcher, kick me in the butt and say, hey, you're supposed to bring a sand crab catcher. I'm not guaranteeing any sand crabs, but if we can get them, they're a superior bait. Michael Limon will be, I'm going to enlist his services to look around here for some sand crabs. And if him and his grandpa show up early, then we'll get them to work here early and see if they can't come up with a bunch of bait for all of you. There's been a few corvina, but not as many as I would like to see. A few halibut on the Lucky Travelers. Good fishing for yellowfin croaker. And also we have seen a few perch here and there, shovel-nosed sharks, guitar fish, and also some rays like butterfly rays and other stuff. Just something to pull on, have a good time, and meet some members of the Friedman Adventures family right here. So it should be good. Down around Huntington, there has been a few more corvina down that way and yellowfin croaker. We've seen that up in the Santa Monica Bay around the Topaz Rock Jetty down by the Redondo Pier, and the other way down at Rats Beach. We've seen a few more corvina in that neck of the woods also. So some pretty good stuff going on. What can I tell you? As we head into the weekend, I've got a new grandson. The fish are biting. It's been an incredibly beautiful weekend so far. I get to hang with so many of you down here on Saturday morning. Please come down and introduce yourself. Would love to see you and meet you here. And of course, if I don't see you on Saturday, I hope to see you really, really soon. Have a great weekend and a blessed and wonderful Friday, my friends.